Good afternoon and welcome back to Whimsical Farm. We're going to take a look at the Garden of Weeding today, and today's focus is going to be on things that are successful and positive and doing good. We'll start off with these roses. You can see my wife's got some beautiful climbing roses. She's got them trained over and they're doing good. Grapes have made it over, and we got grapes here that are going up, and they have made it to the peak, and probably by the end of next week they'll go on over. So let's walk off into the Garden of Eden and look and see what's happening. First thing you notice is the rain gauge that was so beautiful before that we built is covered up with grapes, which is just fine. I cut out just enough to let the rain fall, but look at that beautiful growth on the grapes. Now I'm going to spin around, and we'll start off on the left-hand side, just looking at things today that are beautiful and doing well. Here's some grapes to see. They're really doing good. We've got two beds that before were just waiting and waiting for something to happen. They're now full of dirt, and they have a Cherokee Purple, brand new plant today, and the Lemon Boy. May not look like much, but they will come on and do good. Grapes again are doing good. Wonderful growth with them. This is a component I wanted to talk about. We've mentioned these before. Some people say that you really can't do good transplanting okra. I beg to differ. If you're using this type of container, some good soil, notice the bottom of these have a hole the size of your finger, so it makes it really easy to get these plants out. And so far we've had great success. These are made by a company called, they say Modern Grower on them. I think they're Epic seed starters, but they're real thick plastic, heavy duty. Still got plants left, tomato plants. These are free now for anybody that drops by to wants to grow a tomato plant. They are a little bit old, but you can drop them in a hole in the ground, they'll take off in no time. So roses are doing good. We've got some beautiful roses. You can see those. I'm going to see if I can get a little, let me get a little closer on these real quick. Roses are doing good. These are our coral roses. They really are beautiful. And the grapes have made it up, and you can see up, up, and over. They've made it over their arch. We've got some running down the arch and some coming up and over. And I wanted you to see these. Look at these grapes. See the grapes in there? And they're like that all through the grapevine. Let's spin around now and look at something new. Probably have to shoot this at a little bit of a distance. I'm going to go this way. Back up here just a little bit. We've got a bed here. Now it looks a little rough right now, but I want to explain what's going on. This bed was this beautiful, just foliage that was real pretty and green, and it was so thick and so many watermelons in there, I decided to build a watermelon bridge. So all I did was take a section of cattle panel and a couple of pieces of old signpost, screwed that into the bottom of the bed, on the face, on the front, and on the back, arched it up and over, and then we had some segments of the old cattle panel and put them in kind of as a bridge support, one here and one here, and then tied them off with some tie wire. And there are, what you're seeing right here that looks a little bit rough, like it's diseased, the good news is that is not disease. That's well water that I left dripping for a long period of time. But I wanted you to see the success. Look at these watermelons. Look at there, they're hiding. They're all in there. There's just watermelons. Here's another one. Look at this guy. See if I can get my shadow off of him. Look at these guys. I mean, there's watermelons all through there. So the goal is to take the runner and get him up off the ground so he can breathe a little bit, trying to make sure fungus isn't an issue. And just positive, just grow and look at him grow. He's going and going. He even had a watermelon on him, so we dropped a bucket in here that can't fall through, at least not right now. I may have to put some wire on it. But look inside the bucket. There's a little watermelon hiding in there, and it's got a drain hole so it won't get all weird. So that is, we're really happy with the watermelons. These are sugar babies. And is that sugar baby? What else, dear? Is there something else? Clemson? Crimson sweet, and the sugar babies. And they're just, I mean, literally, I can't even show them all too because there's so many of them. So that's a positive. We'll do a spin back on those. The next bed I want to show you, we've got 2 beds of these now. Look at these marigolds. These marigolds are very picturesque. Look like you'd see only in a magazine, but the Lord's blessed us. My wife planted these on the corner of the bed, and that shows you the difference in just regular old dirt in the yard and having some rich organic soil with 0 weeds. Like I said before, these beds, we covered them with the geotech and then put the chips, the free chips from an electric company. Now this plant I want to introduce you to, we talked about it a little bit before. We had some issues with these. We got past those, going into positive territory now, good positive ground. This is the Z-Best okra plant, and I want you to look inside there. If I can get in there and show you. Look at that Z-Best. Look at how many okra. This thing grows like a, see, it grows like a, really like a shrub. It doesn't grow skinny and straight like the Clemson. It grows very bushy, and it's a very high production okra. It'll make an okra that it doesn't have a spine. You can see one right here. See, it doesn't have the 6 sides like the Clemson does. Clemson spineless. It's more of just a straight cylindrical okra, and it will stay tender. They'll grow out to 12 inches long, so we're looking forward to that. So you can see that's one plant there, and then his little brother is right here beside him. And you can see it's getting ready to put out okra flowers, and there'll be tons of little wasps out here flying around playing. But look at these transplants. Some people say you can't do it. Look at these transplants. And there's one that's getting ready to be another little brother. Look at the beautiful growth on that. That's just, see that leaf? When you see that kind of leaf, that's really beautiful. And it's, see, they're filling in. And the chips, again, these chips do a great job of moderating your temperature. You know, you don't want that black geotech only because it just burn up. We've been fighting and dealing with some just brutal weather. It's been 95 to 100 degrees every day for the last week, and doesn't show any chance of changing soon. No rain to be seen. Now, again, today is a day of positive, a day of progress, a day of hope, a day of things going well. This bed, if you'll remember before, I'll mention something negative just for a couple of seconds. It had squash and the bugs came and ate it, destroyed it, and that's the end of that nonsense. I'm not going to put my family, my wife and I, through struggling just to show that we can struggle. So she came in and had the grand idea to plug in some more of those nice little transplants. So that's all okra there. That is the Z-Best okra. You can look that up on the internet. You can't find seeds hardly right now. Very difficult, but that's the Z-Best okra. While I'm standing right here, we might as well look at this. Good night in the morning, look at that corn. And then, look what else she's got going. Some people call these sunflower flowers, but ours are sunflower trees. Those are 12 feet tall. I measured that tallest one at 12 feet. And I think the bottom of it is wood now. We're going to probably build some furniture, maybe some chairs, you know, maybe some ottomans or something like that, you know, out of that. And I'll get probably a helicopter, maybe a super tall ladder and a sky hook or something, and we'll take pictures of flowers later. It looks as if one may actually have a flower. Let me get around here. I don't want you to be without seeing flowers. Can't have a sunflower without a flower. And there's, oh gosh, that's an orange and yellow in there. And then way up top, look at that thing. That's 12 feet off the ground. So how in the world did you get that to grow 12 feet? Well, the Lord grew it, we planted it, and rabbit manure. You got to use rabbit manure. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is tomatoes. We're going to do these tomatoes. And let's see. Right beside the tomato plants, you'll remember from last time, we plugged in the ground, right beside the tomato plant, I plugged in some cantaloupe. So here's the cantaloupe coming up, and you can see him. He's tied off to this cattle panel. There's one of my ties right there, little wire tie. And look at these little cantaloupes. They're already going crazy, putting on. These will have to have a little stand, and we've got stands for them. We'll put a little stand. I don't want to mess with it right now. I might knock it off, but see the flowers, and I'm gonna back up so you can see how tall. This cattle panel is right at about 7.5 feet, and you can see that one just beautiful in the sun. Got his little finger out, getting ready to put a rescue hook onto that cattle panel, and flowers everywhere. Eventually I'll have to come through here and thin some of these a little bit so they're not too thick. But let's look at some tomatoes now. All right, this first one is a celebrity. They're kind of hiding, not too much to see, but plenty of growth. The next one is the Super Sweet 100, and you can see it is flat putting on the tomatoes. Look at those tomatoes. I mean, there's a bunch of tomatoes in there, and they go all the way up. I'm standing near this, like I say, about 7 feet tall up above. Here's a cluster right here of them. These are still putting on growth. Now these have survived in 95 to 100 degree weather, but it's with drip irrigation in these special buckets that we built, and you can go back in some of my videos on the buckets and see them. But you got to water. You got to be faithful to water these things every day when it's 95 to 100, and that will help keep the plant cool. Use that kind of as an air conditioner. Got a few orange ones there that are almost ready to pick and eat. And I've already tasted some of these. They have a very good flavor. They're really, really sweet. That one right there belongs to me. I have to eat him. Oh, he's gone. Here's a carbon. It is a fairly new plant. It's a replacement plant, so it hadn't put on a whole lot yet. Here's a lemon boy, one of my favorites. You can see his stalk is starting to look tree-like. Leaves the curl just a little bit from the heat. No problem. And he's starting to put on a few. He'll get most of his tomatoes up top. Here is the Cherokee Purple. Again, very nice stalk, good and strong. He's got some good tomatoes all through there. They're looking good. Got peppers. Bell peppers doing good. Got lots of jalapeno peppers. They're doing good. There's a beautiful jalapeno there. There's more underneath. They're hiding. You got to draw them back and see. They're really growing good. Now let's look at some different tomatoes. This is the Delicious. Stalk is good. Plant's coming up. It's looking pretty thick. And there's a Delicious couple of tomatoes there. They haven't put on yet because of the heat. So we're finding out which plants can take the heat. Here's the Kellogg. Lots of plant, not too many tomatoes yet. We're hoping for a little cooler weather. This is a Delicious. It was a replacement one. And here is another Delicious. You can see there the tomatoes looking really good, and lots of tomatoes. This is putting on good. And this is a Big Beef. The Big Beef so far is winning the contest. He has some big tomatoes down here, and that's right up off the ground. And then the intermediate stage, you can see it is very thick in tomatoes, and his growth is big. He's made it up to 7 feet plus. And then down here on the end, my favorite one, this is the Lemon Boy. Lemon Boy is very productive. He's got some leaves curled up from the heat, but still doing good. He's still pushing along, and we've even got one right there. Looks like he's just about ready to pick. So there's the Lemon Boy. The size of a Lemon Boy is about the size of a baseball. It's a good 8 to 12 ounce tomato. Some will get as big as a softball, but most will be tennis ball, baseball size. But they have good flavor, not real acid. So let's see what else we got. We got grapes are really coming on thick here, showing the growth, things that are doing good. That's what today's thing is about. Fish are still doing good. Oh, our little buddy, our little buddy, little goggle eye buddy. Come here, little man. Let's see you. YouTube's here for you. Got a yellow boy right there. He's flying along. Come here, little goggle eye. I see you. I see you hiding there. Come on, get out here where we get you on camera. Come on, YouTube people, waiting to see you, buddy. That's a little yellow one. Let's see. You gonna chomp my finger? Here, see if you want a little bite there. No, he didn't chomp. Oh, there's a goggle eye. Look at him hiding over there. He thinks he's all hid out. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Come here and say hi to Papa. Come here. Come here, buddy. There he is. Oh, he's a finger chomper today. He's a chomper. All right, what else we got here? More grapes, more grapes. Look at those grapes there. Beautiful. I can't wait for those to come on. These are late. These are all muscadines, and they'll make in September. They get on past the heat, and you can see them. I mean, those things are beautiful. Thank the Lord for grapes, and more grapes, and more grapes. Now you can see again, to celebrate a little bit of victory, you can see the grapes have covered over the arbor, and it's really doing well. It's very impressive. Lots of grapes and lots of good growth. And the next thing we need to do is we need to go over and do some harvest. I want you to see my wife's peppers. They have done fantastic. Some of them have stayed a little bit past their normal time, but it's not going to hurt a thing because we're going to use these. We're going to pickle some of these. Some of them we're going to chop up. Honey, if you can. She's going to hold the camera for me, and I'm going to go into the harvest mode. Let's get you right over here. Watch your hand on the left-hand side. All right, we're going to take about 5 minutes of time. Looks like the pups got a hold of your chompers, so we're going to just. These are some very nice cutters. These are made by Fisker. It's a new coating that they have that's a non-stick coating, and they put a really strong spring in them, so those are really good quality. They got a lock on them, so those are worth having. We had the other silver kind, and they weren't quite as good. I might be able to pull these. Let's see. Nope. These are actually thick enough that you need to harvest them by cutters. And there's a bunch of them. So I'll go fast for the sake of the video, and we'll get us a bunch, and we'll do a few more later. Get some. There's a brown one. We got all different colors. We got yellow, we got brown, we got red, we got red brown, we got some that are dried up a little bit. That's not going to hurt anything. They'll still go right down the hatch. They'll still taste delicious. Here's some that. Look at these. These are a totally different color. These are kind of a brownish green and orange. Here's a bright one. Look at this one right there. That's a beauty. Let's see what else we got here. We're not running short on peppers. We have got the peppers. Let's see, we've got some hiding here. These are bright red. Look at those bad boys. Let me get a little water on that thing and wash them off. Ooh, those are beautiful. I can't wait to eat those. Now, peppers, they can be used in so many things. I think the Latin American, Mexican folks, Spanish people, they pretty much put them in everything. I like them too. They're really good in eggs. Chop them up in eggs. You can put them in meatloaf. The big bell peppers, you can cut them up and stuff them full of beef and onions, which we got a lot of onions from this year. But peppers are very versatile. You can use them in a lot of different dishes. I'll let those go a little bit.
And dry them.
What?
You can dry them too.
And what?
Dry them.
Oh yes, my wife made a good point. You can dry these. Dried peppers are excellent. They're good for all kinds of different things. That one is history. These are not hot peppers. Most of these are mild peppers. I just want to get a few for the video. There's more than I can pick here on the clock. There's a bunch of them there. So I just wanted to get a few for right now. We'll pick the rest of them later. Try not to let any of them go to waste. I got to get that one. That's a beautiful one right there. Look at that beauty. You got that on the video? That's a beauty right there. Those are so good. And you can stir these up, make a sauce out of them. You can stir fry them in with other vegetables. They just got so many good purposes. All right, let's go while we're doing peppers. Let's see what else we got over here. Anything here yet? These are not quite ready. Those have got little green peppers on. There's some there. Let's go get some of these off of my vine over here. We've got some bell peppers over here. These were green last week, and now they've come due. These are some yellow bell peppers. You got to kind of be careful when you cut these that you don't cut the wrong parts. You can cut the plant off if you're not real careful. Those are beautiful. They're not real big diameter, but they'll have a good flavor. And this will kind of relieve the plant until it's time to send some more. That's an important thing to know with gardening, is almost everything's built that way. Roses, when you deadhead them and they make more roses, and peppers, pretty much everything. When you cut it and take the fruit off of it, it'll send you more. So there's that harvest. Let's go ahead and get that one tomato. We got one tomato that's this is kind of a thing to know on tomatoes. A lot of people know, some people don't. But tomato plants are tomatoes themselves. When you pick them, you can put them in a brown paper bag. Don't stick them in the refrigerator, because it'll make them slow down where they won't do anything. But if you put them in a brown paper bag and let them sit in the house for a little while, they'll ripen real nicely, and you don't have to worry about a bird getting them or something bad happening to them. Come on, tomato. Oh, look at that. That's a lemon boy. We got him before any birds did anything bad happened. That's beautiful. That's the size of I'd call that the size of a baseball. Let's see, use something as a reference here. What have I got as a reference? Oh, here's a nice pistol. We'll use this. There's a 5-inch Walther PDP pistol, and there's your lemon right beside it. Lemon boy tomato plant. Tomato off the plant. So that gives you a good reference. That's a 5-inch barrel, and maybe a little longer with the slide and everything, but good reference. So we'll put him on the tomato side. He tried to get away. You don't do that. He's not going to get away. Okay, what else we got to look at? Let's go look at my wife's tomato plants. We'll leave this right here in a good safe location, right there. And that's what the Lord's blessed us with. And that's just a very small harvest. My wife picked some corn earlier. We can put that on display too. But isn't that beautiful? Just a beautiful thing. It was just dirt and rabbit manure, and now it's something beautiful and edible. So we're thankful, very thankful for it. Let's take a look at something else successful that we've got. This is a big patch of green beans. These are Blue Lake bush beans. Again, they look a little rough. Part of that's from the heat, but the other part of that is I've been watering them faithfully, and that well water, when you set the hose up and it sprays on them overnight, it leaves that rust behind. But they'll eat that up as iron, and you can see those are really doing good. They're thick, and they're starting to put on, they got lots of blooms and starting to put on a few beans. Here's some beautiful flowers of my wife's. And let's go out and look at what I call the girl garden. My wife has done fantastic. Look at her beans out here. These are some kind of, what are those?
Purple hull.
Purple hull. I don't know why I always call them beans. These are purple hull peas. Then she's got some loofah sponges that's growing up the fence. But this was, remember before, this is a really ugly place, but we got past ugly. It was just black plastic, but boy, she did a great job. And you can see we got the black-eyed peas are coming on. So we're gonna have some black-eyed peas. And that thing is just thick. Let me back up here again so you can get a perspective and see the whole thing. All right, there's the black-eyed pea patch. And then over here, she's got her tomatoes, and hers are almost all specialized cherry tomatoes, and I'm really proud of her. She's had a tough battle, but again today we're looking at the positive, and look at them go. These tomatoes are they're just beautiful. And she got all different kinds. I can't keep up with all of them. She's had some replacement plants. There's a Super Sweet 100 she put back in. These, what are these that are big ones here? Oh, these are delicious, called the Delicious tomato. And they'll make a good full-size tomato. Again, another replacement plant. You can see the lemon boy, he's laying in there doing good. He's got lots of room. He'll make it 6 feet or better. And I think that's the same thing beside him. And right here, we've got, this is a purple bumblebee. Purple bumblebee. And you can see it starting to put on some color. That heat's been brutal, but thank the Lord we've made it through the worst part. I don't think it's going to get any worse than 100. This side's got a couple of replacement plants. There's a big boy, he'll fill in. That's a little bit of rusty water there, no big deal. Another little replacement plant. He's coming on good. And look at these. These are more of the purple bumblebee, and they're really something. They're beautiful. Look at these. Look at the color of these. Those are really, really nice tomatoes, and there's a big cluster of them there. Here's one up here. There's a couple of them there. They're really pretty. Look how beautiful those are. Those are kind of a specialty tomato, but I've eaten some of these. Which one is this one now?
Black strawberry.
Oh gosh, look at this. Now this is one of her really special ones. This is called the black strawberry. And you can see there just aren't any tomatoes out there like this. I mean, you don't see them. They're not going to be at Walmart or your box stores and stuff. These are Baker Creek, places like that. You can find them on the internet, but I really want to get that out where I can see it without killing him. And let's see if I can do this very gently. Yeah, I can't do that. He's going to lose tomatoes. So anyway, there him is. There's one there. There's a cluster of 3 or 4 there, 5, 6. Pull some leaves out of the way. You get a few leaves out of the way and you can see. See there? Golly, look at those tomatoes in there. They're just thick. There's another thick group of them. And she has done excellent. I mean, she has been fighting with problems, which we're not talking about the problems. We're not troubleshooting today. We're enjoying the good stuff of it. Look at this right here. This is the Atomic Grape. I always forget the names of them, but it's a very unusual looking. But look at these will explode. They'll blow your lips off, I think. That's why I carry a pistol out here, because you're dealing with atomic stuff. You don't want to be unarmed. You got to be ready for anything. And I want you to see the size of this. Again, hers is about the same as mine in height, about 7 feet, and she's easily just blown the top out. They're 7 feet plus, so you got a tomato plant there that's 8 feet. There's another that's at 8 feet, and it's got tomatoes up there too. So although we've had heat, we've had to deal with some issues, some problems, we're thankful that with good water source and lots of persistence with it, we enjoy the garden a lot. I need to show this too while I'm here. This is a bunch of stuff she got climbing. These are loofahs and cucumbers. Golly, look at those cucumbers right there. There's one baby right there. These are just pickles that hadn't grown up all the way. Cucumbers, when they're babies, they're just cucumbers, but when they grow up and mature, they jump off into a jar of vinegar and they turn into grown-ups, and they're pickles. So this is, what have we got here, honey? These are climbing so tall.
Climbing beans.
Climbing beans. I think these are from Jack and the Beanstalk beans. I'm not really sure what kind, but when we put them on the plate, we'll be able to tell what they are later. Oh gosh, look at these. This is an unusual bean that she's got. She comes up with the coolest stuff. That's one of the reasons that you have entered into Whimsical Farm, Whimsical Garden. These are for making shoelaces on work boots, but if you catch them while they're young, you can eat them. I think these are, where are these from? These Vietnam? What? Chinese. These are Chinese yard beans. That's because you grow them in the yard. No, that's not the reason. They're Chinese yard beans because they're a yard long. That thing's 3 feet long. So once it hits 36 inches, you've got the yard bean. So, oh, that's okay. They're not causing no problem. And what's this last one, honey, that I always forget? This is the What? Clackamas. This is the one that makes you blow your teeth out when you say the name of it. This is a clackamas blueberry. And you can see it. I'm trying to show you the tomato so you can see the progress. Today is progress report. This is showing the things that have really done well. And somewhere over here, she's got some corn. She's put some fancy flowers out here too. And let's see, where did she hide that corn? I know there's corn. Where did that corn go? Oh, the corn got away. It'll be on the next video. But anyway, we want to thank everybody for the time that they spent. We've got lots of good things going. And thank you so much for dropping in with us today and looking at the whimsical garden with us. We want to ask you to please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button if you like. If you learned something new or something's encouraging to you, please hit that subscribe, and that'll help our channel to grow. So again, we thank you very much from Whimsical Farm and the Garden of Whedon. And bye for now.